YouTube, thank you for tuning in to another news briefing here with The Light. Now, I'm Jake. I've got some more news and analysis for you folks today, but I'd also like to direct you to my prior interview that I did in the last video with Carly Joe, Cannabis Sensuality Coach. Now, it was an awesome talk. We went into a lot of the more esoteric elements of cannabis, talking about cannabis in a lot of things that have nothing to do with the investment thesis. So if you're interested in cannabis for purposes other than investment, you should certainly check out the video here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get into the news today because it's important. I don't want to delay. And today, the cannabis industry is still in a state of defense at all times. It's always under attack from government agencies, even the ones that are supposed to be regulating the now legal cannabis in a lot of states around the world. And truly, it's being hit hardest right now in the CBD, the supposedly legal CBD and hemp industry, where we have had legal cultivation, legal hemp in industrial and flowering forms since 2018. Farmers all across America are getting in on this real gold rush, but due to this kind of regulatory failure and a huge supply glut, the American farmer is still taking a huge hit. And right now we're seeing unprecedented actions being taken by government agencies, the FDA, etc., in a way that seems to be actually prejudicial, if you ask me, with the prejudgment of cannabis being something with no use, which should not be available to the public, which should be hidden away forever. This is a prejudgment based on the prohibition, which we have taken nearly a century now to end. And today we're seeing the FDA continue this attack, which is hitting hemp farmers as they're using misleading data points from a trial on the first ever approved CBD drug, Epiliodex, an amazing, groundbreaking drug which is used to treat epileptic seizures, and it's a drug that uses CBD to do this. It's the first ever FDA approved patented drug that's being distributed in the UK and the US and other places now. So it's really something that the FDA approved, and they're taking a data point which showed 16% of the patients in the pivotal trials that got the drug approved having higher than previous levels of liver enzymes in the blood, which is because the CBD is taken in a pill form, and when you eat it, it is digested in the stomach and then passes through the liver. You also would see this with THC edibles, and you actually can see liver toxicity from edibles because they are consumed, they go into the stomach, they turn to a chemical called 11-hydroxy-THC, and that's digested through the liver. So with this pill, it would be expected to see some of these liver enzymes in the blood. Now, the FDA has used this statistic to say that CBD causes liver damage and to say that it may cause irreparable harm and to cause this industry scare. We see multiple headlines here pushing this stance, but they also fail to mention that from that 16% population, a large number of those people were still able to continue to safely use the Epiliodex drug. So this is quite misleading and inappropriate for this government agency, in my opinion. Now, I ask, what about the 4% fatality rate found in samples of people taking 80 milligram OxyContin prescription drug? Now, 4% fatality rate means every 100 people prescribed it, there may now be 4 dead. What about that? What about the carcinogens in generic blood pressure medicine that the FDA is supposed to be ensuring for quality? What about the asbestos in the baby powder? This powder keg here in this Reuters news article. The talcum powder manufactured industrially by Johnson & Johnson, which is in cosmetics, in health and beauty products, and in the baby powder, has been contaminated with asbestos. So that's really terrible. That's also carcinogenic. People are breathing it in. They can contract mesothelioma. They can get cancer. It's very terrible. And there's already class action lawsuits, but now Johnson & Johnson's come out publishing their independent studies which show that the baby powder doesn't have asbestos, and bashed the FDA, saying they're lying, blaming them for a massive scare, and completely disregarding the FDA studies that showed asbestos contamination. I think that this is something that's just also unprecedented, as the FDA is taking a huge beating from this company that they should be regulating. And I think that it would be much better for taxpayer dollars to go toward addressing issues in already existing industries, to address the asbestos in the baby powder, the carcinogens in generic blood pressure medicine, and now possibly diabetes medicine, and to address this opioid crisis that has shown with the high dose of 80 milligram Oxycontin up to 4% fatality rate in these people who may have been prescribed it just because they're having ankle surgery or something. It's a deadly drug, and it's not being properly regulated. I think that the taxpayer dollars should go toward addressing these issues, and that the cannabis market needs to be liberalized so that the American farmers can make money, so that this new industry and new businesses can start to thrive, and so that barriers to market entry can begin to be brought down. Now, we're watching stocks which are drastically oversold. We're watching Hemp Inc., which is now below 1 penny per share. We're watching Charlotte's Web, which is an amazing CBD company based out of Colorado. We're watching Neptune Wellness Solutions, a very cool company with vertical integration with some processing facilities there to make topicals and health and wellness products using CBD, as well as Zynerba Pharmaceuticals, an incredible company which made a new gel formulation similar to the Epiliodex, which would be absorbed through the skin into the bloodstream to treat epileptic seizures. Now, this is FDA approved. They're finishing their studies, which will be reported on in January of 2020. So this is big news too, because you're likely not to see the liver toxicity levels in a gel, because scientifically you can see that it wouldn't pass through the liver if it's delivered directly to the bloodstream through the epidermis. So we're seeing a solution to a problem here. We're seeing some more interesting new medical grade cannabis products brought to market, and a bright future for sure in 2020. Now stay tuned. I'll get into some more stock news and analysis in the next video. I hope this video was beneficial to you, and I hope that you will share it. I hope you'll like, I hope you'll subscribe, and especially tell people about the asbestos in the baby powder. Tell people about these articles and this health crisis, and spread the news about hemp and CBD. Help to break down the stigma, help to make for this widespread acceptance, and to usher in this new age of cannabis legalization. And folks, thanks again for tuning into The Light. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then,
we think we're free with all